Hi, everybody. I have so many
What
recorded
up, Gomer
episodes on
Trends?
my desktop right now that I haven't uploaded to YouTube yet. I got to get on
Oh,
that.
just
Ooh.
upload them.
Yeah, I just should just do it all in one big chunk.
Oh
This one
man,
is Cramps. Cramps.
cramps, dude.
Cramps. All right. I wonder how many times we're going to say cramps. All right. I'm ready.
Okay, I just thought of a great movie quote already for it.
Okay. Sweet. Awesome.
Okay, hold on. Got my garage band, and here we go. One, two, three, click. One, two, three.
One, two, three. You're listening to. Okay. Hold on. You're listening to Overcoming Runner's Block, a two Gomers podcast about regular people chasing big goals and face. Sorry.
Just start over. It's all good.
Okay.
I'm just booting up my notes app.
Okay. You're listening to Overcoming Runner's Block, a two Gomers podcast about regular people chasing big goals, facing their excuses and barriers, and inviting a nation along for the run. This is Block 35, Cramps, for July 8th, 2022.
Welcome, everybody, to the 35th block of Overcoming Runner's Block. This is Anthony speaking, one of those two aforementioned Gomers, coming to you from Atlanta, Georgia, with my friend Steven, all the way out in Flagstaff, Arizona.
Okay, can I just start with some quick big news?
Yeah, totally.
Big news.
Mm-hmm.
Jack just got a job. He turned 16, got his driver's license, just got a job.
Mm-hmm.
Like father, like son.
Oh, no.
He's at McDonald's right now, training it
What?
up.
No way, dude.
I have never been so proud of a son of mine. You know, he finished high school with a 4.0. He's got a whole bunch of AP
Yep.
courses, all this stuff. Okay.
Yep.
But Jack works at McDonald's.
Yeah, dude. That is incredible. Wait, remind everybody about his age and stage.
He's 16,
Okay. When did you start at McDonald's? McDonald's?
14.
Okay.
But the rules are different. I don't know if the rules are different like nowadays or in Arizona, but
Okay.
he couldn't start working until he was 16. I had
Okay.
quit McDonald's by 16, so I never got to work in the back. I never got to cook food.
Oh, right.
So it was
Okay.
all drive through and cashier and bathroom cleaning and customer
Mm,
service that I was doing.
mm-hmm. But
Still,
he's
my second favorite job I've ever had, besides Blockbuster. Blockbuster number one, McDonald's number two.
and and these are above like what your career is now.
100%. If I worked at Pixar, I would still put it in that order: Blockbuster, McDonald's, Pixar.
That's incredible, dude.
Listen to this. This is different. Times have changed. He gets a free meal every time he works, no matter how many hours. That's not what it
Wow.
was for me. He gets 50% off
Mm-hmm.
anytime.
So you guys now can have McDonald's 50% off anytime. Like if you go with him.
Plus a guest. He can bring a guest.
Oh
Oh,
my gosh.
deary me. That's
Oh
good
my
news
gosh.
and bad news.
Be our guest, dude. That's crazy.
Definitely.
That is crazy.
Uh okay, remind me, I need to talk to you about Be Our Guest too, because Mahler 3, there was this part where it sounded exactly like
Oh,
Be Our Guest, Be Our Guest.
yep.
Anthony
Dude,
played
well
Mahler 3 the other
done.
day. Yeah. And I was thinking, you don't have to remind me because I just said it. But anyways,
Okay.
I recognize that leitmotif as
Yeah.
something. Howard Ashman, is that the composer? I can never remember
Alan
between
Menken
Alan Menken, right? He's the composer.
or Tim Rice or who was the at Menken Rice? There was Elton
Menken and
John in there with
Ashman were
Lion
were
King.
for Beauty and the Beast. I can never remember which is a lyricist and which writes the
Okay.
music. Anyways, I recognize that. So listen, and the third thing that's different is I got paid $4.15 an hour.
Okay.
He's getting $16.50 an hour, bro, at McDonald's.
Dang, dude. Okay, like, yeah, this is times are a changing
Yeah.
kind of thing. And don't you also get like like they'll pay for college or something like that, or like
There
I've
are
seen
there are
all
some
these
benefits
advertisements.
if you stay for if you stay for longer. There's college benefits, all this stuff. So yeah, I mean, plus he gets to smell friggin' fries all day.
Oh
The
man.
biggest benefit of all.
He gets to smell like fries when he comes home.
And listen, I'm gonna be like, whenever he comes in the door, I'm gonna be like on a cartoon where it's a little bit of a wisp of a smell, and it hits my
Yeah.
nose, and I like float into the air toward
Yeah,
him.
yeah. Yeah, what did you bring for me? It's going to be like, dude, still remember just a bag full of cheeseburgers, right?
Bag full
Dreams.
of cheeseburgers. Yep. So anyways, that's my big news. That's my week in
Wow.
review. Is
Okay.
Jack got the dream job, McDonald's.
Yeah. That is so awesome. Okay, so I just remember a college job that I pined for.
Mm-hmm.
Remember the one we've talked about it a bunch of times, but the college job I wanted was that parking lot attendant
Oh right.
at
Yep.
the like you'd work for the city, and I don't remember what it was. It was $14, $15 an hour,
Yeah.
but that was a lot
Oh yeah.
then. I mean,
Yes.
like, right? Like
Tons.
that just shows like kind of like inflation, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And also that like what is minimum wage now? We should know this.
Well, in Flagstaff, it's $15 right now. So, but
Okay.
that I mean, it's a city by city thing. There is a national minimum
Yeah.
wage, but here, it's a it's high because of the cost of living,
Sure, sure, sure. Okay, got
which
it.
is also a big deal here, and everybody has an opinion on it. And is it driving small businesses out? It's all sorts of stuff. All I know is
Yeah.
Jack's bringing home 1650 before taxes
Yeah.
an hour, and I'm busting my buttons. Good job, Jack. If you ever listen to this, which I don't
I
think you do.
love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay, so I thought you were going to say the big news was the fires.
Yeah, we can talk about that. Let's talk about that in the next episode, the Flux Epiphany. I
Okay.
won't. Can we do that? But
Yeah,
our
yeah,
city is on
totally got it.
fire, and people should pray for us, and it's terrible, and my precious mountain is burning up.
Oh man, yeah. Okay, so we'll talk about that on Flux Capacitor. That's not downplaying. We're just saying we're going to record that in like 45 minutes.
We
So
gotta
we'll
get
talk
to
about that then.
cramps.
Yeah, we got to get to talking about cramps
Yep.
and um yeah, so I have a couple things in the weekend review before we jump into the block. Is that cool?
Please, yes.
Okay, so the last episode we recorded was I tore my gastrocnemius. I probably pronounced that wrong.
Mm,
Gastroc or gastro. It's GASTROCNEMIUS.
okay. Yeah, sounds right to me.
So the whole time I was listening to it, I was like, "Did I say that right?" Probably didn't.
Yeah. You could have
But
edited in maybe like years from now when
yeah,
you realize that you were pronouncing it wrong, you can go back and re-edit it.
yeah. But
Gastrocnemius.
we're not scientists though. Jay
Nope.
Jenin.
Mhm.
Um. So, anyways, so it's been 4 weeks now since I tore it. 4 weeks
Right.
yesterday.
Yeah.
1 week since we recorded that episode. I
Hmm.
did go for my first actual run.
Oh,
So that
because
was
you've been
cool.
walking quite a bit. I've seen you on
Yep,
Instagram
starting.
walking. Yeah.
Yeah, I took basically 3 weeks off of anything. So this
Right.
starting last week, I started walking, and
Hmm.
I've been swimming laps.
Okay.
Here's a
Awesome.
couple. Here's a couple tips. I mean,
Yeah.
we kind of mentioned these last time, but
Right.
listen to your doctor, physical therapy, pivot to a different exercise like swimming if you
Yep.
can.
Yeah.
Rest. Remember
Hmm.
the rice.
Yep. All right.
Rest, ice it,
Mm-hmm.
compression,
Yeah.
elevation. Actually, dude, I didn't even write that down.
What do you
I
mean?
just I just
You just
remembered it.
remembered it.
That,
Wow.
that's
Listen to
that's the
this.
that's the power of an acronym, dude. Right?
You could just pull it out of your mind. Great job. And you've been
Yep.
doing them too, so that helps.
Well, yeah. Also, yeah, and then the fifth one then should be do. So like, riced,
Right. So
like
do is to do them. So you always need at the end of
do
anything just do it, kind of like
totally.
don't forget to do these things. So I guess you could like um put every acronym in past tense, then you have do at the end.
Yeah,
Riced.
that total. Well, but we talked about that a million times. Like, so many of us know the right thing to do.
Yeah,
That the main thing is to actually do it,
right. Exactly. So put a
right?
D at the end, why don't you?
Put a D at the end of everything. The D is implied. You
That's
don't even
right.
need to. It's like
Exactly.
it really all boils down to do,
Uh-huh.
right?
Yeah.
I
And
don't
so
know.
you did
So
run
did
recently.
yes. So ran. So leg feels good.
Uh-huh.
Feels good. So kind of what I'm doing is just slow and steady run, walk, run.
Mm-hmm.
I just did a mile.
Okay, awesome.
I just did a mile,
Yeah.
and I'm not gonna like. I have this epiphany episode that's not the Flux Epiphany that we need to record really soon.
For our
I'll
13
I'll
point
give you
oneers. Yeah.
I'll give you a little hint. It's about
Uh-huh.
aging.
Okay.
It's an aging concept.
Well, I noticed that on our notes that we share,
Yeah.
there's a little note that says two
Uh-oh.
Gomers ep ideas, and it's all coded. And
Oh, is it?
I'm thinking, like, what does this have to do with anything? And I see the number 50 on here.
Oh.
So I'm wondering if there's something
Wow.
about the age 50. So we'll get to that. We'll
I
get to that in the
totally. That was a major teaser. Dang it.
I think you shared that note with me by accident.
No, no, I didn't. I didn't share that on accident.
Okay.
That's actually super fun that you found that.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, yeah. So I have like some really exciting thoughts,
Okay.
but
Awesome.
we
I can't
can't
wait. I
spoil
was
them
jazzed
here.
when I saw that number. I'll just say that.
Pretty cool, right? That's actually
Yeah.
a pretty cool 6 digits right there.
Yep.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's a super teaser for the 13.1ers. You want to be on patreon.com/2gomers. Sign up for 13.1. You're going to hear all about that. And then
Yep.
eventually you'll hear it here. 'Cause
Everyone
it's
will.
gonna,
Yeah.
yeah. But we were talking recently about, the book Run Till You're 100,
Yep.
Jeff Galloway.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to be injured, dude. I don't want.
Yeah.
I mean, we're gonna get injured. We're gonna get
Mm-hmm.
sidelined.
Yeah.
All that stuff. But like this has been a paradigm shift for me.
Right.
This injury, even though that's over dramatizing and stuff like that. But sometimes you just need something to slap you over the head and be like,
Yeah.
you need to change, or you need to appreciate, or you need
Right.
to embrace, or think of. I heard somebody recently say, like, think of running as a gift instead of a chore,
Mm-hmm.
or as like a joy,
Yeah.
as
I love
something
it.
to be joyful about, as opposed to just something you have to do. Because when I was sidelined for those 3 weeks, I was wanted to go outside.
So what did it feel like today when you did?
Yeah. So
When
it
you
felt
ran?
good.
Uh-huh.
Felt good. Felt loved moving through space. I mean, it was 100 degrees outside in Atlanta.
Right. Yeah. Brutal.
So brutal. So I mean, that'll be a block for sure, because I really don't like the restart, especially during
Yep.
like when it's hot.
You're block stacking right now for sure.
Oh yeah,
Recovering,
it's
heat,
yeah
humidity,
restart.
and the restart. Yep. And maybe other things.
Oh yeah, there's plenty of blocks. So
We're always
blocks
blocking
stacked.
stacks over here.
Yeah,
I
we
mean,
block
stacking
stack,
blocks. Can we stack blocks?
but
Can we block stacks? Yeah.
but we also habit stack.
Yep.
So, but I can still feel, though, even though I've been strengthening, I can still feel like that right calf. It doesn't feel like it did before completely.
Okay.
And also,
Like, does it feel tight still? Does it hurt? What?
you could just kind of feel like a little notch, not like, you're maybe it's just that you're more your mind is more present to thinking about that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like,
You're thinking, you're a little bit worried about it maybe too, about like you don't want
yeah,
to worry, you don't want to hurt it again, or is it too early? I can imagine all
you're
that's going on.
just sort of aware.
Yeah. Yep.
Like, it's the refrigerator idea, where you don't think about the refrigerator until it's broken. So now that my calf has been messed up, now I'm
Mhm.
thinking about it.
Yep.
So, but just gonna keep going slow.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I want this bod.
Yeah.
I want to use this bod.
I want your bod. Remember that?
Yeah, right.
those commercials before.
Was
Those commercials before the movies. I want your bod. Do you remember that or not? It was a cologne.
I remember you saying, "Oh, is it like Axe body spray?"
It is, but it was called bod. And also once I got it
Oh,
for Christmas from Jessica's mom.
oh, oh.
Thanks, Kim. Anyways, they had these commercials of people like playing basketball,
Sure.
men playing basketball and volleyball, Top Gun style. And this woman
Mm-hmm.
behind it said, I want your bod. And it's one
Mm-hmm.
of those, it's one of those things, those earworms
Sure.
that has always stuck with you.
Totally.
I wasn't
And
saying that to you, just so you know.
yeah, I know. Oh no, don't. Yeah. Oh, that's hilarious. So, anyways, yeah, but I want this bod.
Mm-hmm.
I want my
I want
bod
my bod too.
to to be able to function
Yeah.
to infinity and beyond, bro.
Yeah. Yep.
And part of my epiphany that we're going to talk about is we're fighting the second law of thermodynamics, which is
Mhm.
everything falls apart.
Yep.
And
The inevitability of aging. Yeah.
yeah, so we're going to talk about that. It's going to be fun.
Okay. Sweet. But today,
Mm-hmm.
this is just something that like I've been looking through our runners bit.ly/runners block where people can write in their blocks.
Yep.
And we're going to tackle one, which we say we're always going to do, but we're going to do one today that a lot of people have written into us about cramps. And we're talking like stomach side cramps. I just want to lay that out. We're not going to talk leg cramps or foot cramps or stuff like that today. We're just going to talk that middle section.
Yep.
People know, I mean, cramps. So should we go right into the block?
Yeah, and we're also not talking about like cramps.
Oh, I see what you mean. We would need a guest.
Yeah, we need a female guest.
Okay, yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Well, now I'm nervous that that's what people are talking about on bit.ly. So anyways, we're going to talk about side and stomach cramps.
We need some guests, some other guests, bro.
Right. Some things we are not expertise in. All right.
Right.
Let's go to the block.
All right, let's do it. All right, let's clap. Let's keep going.
Okay, good idea.
1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3.
Right. Hey, how's it going over there? I need to try this delicious Spindrift mango orange. Oh wait, I already tried it. It's delicious, but I'll have another one.
A nice cool Spindrift on a hot day.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I have some other big news.
Other than I just took 2 Tylenol. If you were watching that on Zoom.
Wow, he's taking medicine on the air.
We're not doctors.
We just got our new fridge for our kitchen. Little by little, right? Anyways, the guy was here and I was like, can you take a look at this other fridge we have, this old fridge from the 80s?
Yeah.
It's not working very well. And then just like your fridge, dude, bro, he was just like, fixed it.
Oh,
so guess
awesome.
what? For the first time in my life.
Oh boy.
I have a garage fridge.
Dude, that is fantastic. I mean, that is what we thought like rich people had, right? Like that is
I feel
so
like I
extravagant.
have arrived because I have a fridge from the 80s.
Yep.
In my garage. And so I went right out and bought so much seltzer water.
Dude, I love that. That
just packed it full.
Oh, that's
so
awesome.
We've got bubbly and La Croix for days.
That's great.
Cold. Usually I would get extra, you get extra La Croix and you just put it on the floor of your pantry.
Yep.
No more. We're in a new era.
Awesome. Yep.
Okay, here we are in the block. Like I said, this has been a popular one for people. So you can go to bit.ly/runnersblock, and there is all our socials there, but there's also a little box, I should say, where you can write your runner's block. And this one has come up a lot over the past couple of years. And I dealt with it the other day, so I was like, we should just do one on cramps.
Great, dude. I've
cramps.
Been there. I know it.
Now, I think as I was leading us into the block, I was thinking people might also call it something different, like
Oh,
like a stitch,
yep, the side stitch. That's what I
side
would think of.
stitch. Okay. Yeah. So I've experienced it in my stomach, my gut, and I'm not going to go there too much because we have a Code Brown episode coming up.
Dude, we can't waste content, dude. You got to separate every single thing out.
So I'm actually not going to be talking much about like the actual like stomach issues, but I'm talking about like
Yeah.
when your stomach cramps up or your side cramps up or like
Mm-hmm.
right under your people that are watching online can see like right here under your ribs. You know what I'm
Yes.
talking about? Like just that
Yep.
cramp that happens and can just block you, like stop you in a run.
Yep. Totally.
Do you feel like you deal with cramps a lot?
Oh, for sure. So my so when I think about like the side stitch,
Yeah,
which is what we're talking about,
right.
the cramp, I immediately go back to gym class. When like we ran the mile for sure.
Yeah.
We've discussed that.
You
Um,
just actually said this that you remember vividly that side stitch, that cramp when
oh yeah,
in the middle school gym run a mile thing.
100%. That's where I first experienced it, and every time I feel it, that's what I think of.
You go right back to middle school.
Yep. The actually on if you like Google it, it
Uh-huh.
defines it as a sharp pain in the
Hmm.
side under the rib cage during exercise. That's the side stitch.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like under that rib cage.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it's just like it's like deep. Sometimes it feels like deep inside you, where you're like,
Yep.
how can I can't even reach that.
Totally. You couldn't like. I have a really good practical tip, which probably we have the same one on
Okay.
how to deal with it.
Right.
And I'll tell you about when that happened recently when I was actually out with Lily.
Okay.
Um, but so immediately though, when I feel it though, I'm in gym class.
Yeah.
I'm 87 pounds. No, what was I like? 87, 92.
Yeah.
Like I was so small.
We were both very small, dude.
You see those pictures, you're like the small guy.
Yeah, were you the small guy? Because I was definitely this. I would say I was kind of known as the small guy
Yep, there
in
were.
in elementary school for sure.
Well,
I
let's see.
think
It
I
was.
grew a little bit in middle school, but I was still short and always shorter than Alex, which
Mm,
I think that was kind of like he's the shorter Grommet or the smaller Grommet even. Um,
right.
and so that didn't help. But I remember feeling like one of my main like insecurities as a kid was how short I was and small.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I've told you I was really self-conscious about how small my wrists were.
I
Right? Like
forgot that.
like I was like
Sorry.
my wrists were so thin.
That is bonkers.
I was like
Because everybody's wrists are thin.
I just thought they were so thin.
I mean, I'm looking at my wrist right now. That's you can put your well, maybe not
Yeah.
all people's wrists are thin, but that is such a I mean, there's such an odd thing. I guess they're constantly before you, right? Like you can see that
Sure.
part of your body.
Yeah,
Like
but
look
I
at those
wanted like
thin
my
wrists.
wrists to be like covered up because I thought they were so like thin and weak. Maybe I felt weak, like a weakling or something. Like I was
Oh
just
yeah.
very stick. I was
Uh-huh.
stickly. I don't know.
Me too. Yep. Yeah, it's interesting because Jack's. I mean, we keep coming back to Jack, but he's on my
Yeah,
mind because he's at McDonald's training right now. But he
yeah.
also was really short until just a couple years ago, and it was
Mm-hmm.
the same thing. Like that was his main like thing in life, how small
Sure.
and short he was, and I just
Yeah,
always remember that. Anyways,
yeah,
you would think that being so light
yeah.
in middle school that we would have just been light on our feet and able to run forever. But
Is
man,
it?
I remember that too, like how hard it was.
Yeah, you would think like take the strength we have now, but put it on an 87-pound frame, we would be like rocket ships, dude, running.
Totally. Yeah. So I guess that's true. That also, I mean, if your wrists were thin, then maybe you also had small muscles.
It wasn't much going on at all. Just tiny little dude.
Yep, just a little dudes. That's what we were. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think if you look at the picture of eighth grade, like my bassoon was bigger than me.
One of my
You
favorite
know?
pictures where I'm like, what's holding this guy up? Right. When you have that
Yeah.
bassoon in your hand. Is he strapped to something to keep him standing up? Like a crane is just out
Yeah.
of shot above him, and they've CG'd out
Right.
the strings or the ropes that are holding you up. Yeah, small.
With
That is funny that you picked like a super tall
yeah,
instrument. That's not right,
yeah,
but it's a big
to-
instrument.
yeah. It is. And yeah, the silk shirt just hanging off of our bones, right? Like Z Cavarici
Skeletons.
jeans, like just cinched at the waist. Like,
It's like when you see like a body that's been dead for like 100 years and it still has clothes on it,
jeez.
just like hanging there.
Yeah.
That's what we were
Oh,
like.
that
And
that
it
makes
didn't
me.
help that like the billowy shirt was in at that
Oh
point.
yeah, the
Yeah.
billowy shirt was so in. Two other things about that. Then we got to get back to Cramps. I've
Mhm.
been reading that book, Project Hail Mary, Andy Weir.
All right.
It's that totally makes me think of that opening ish when
Mhm.
he's like on the ship. Do you remember that?
Yeah. Yep.
Hey, we're talking about books. Yes.
Here we go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it made me think of that. But also I had to get a short sleeve button down because it's been super hot here and we're doing outdoor concerts.
Okay. Yeah.
And so like, basically the best place to find that would be like NASA in the 60s, right? Like, like that's
Yeah. Lots of guys wearing. You're saying lots of guys were wearing short sleeve button down white shirts.
yeah, yep,
Yep.
totally. Like, I was like, that's where to find this because they're really hard to find.
Wait, do you have to wear a white shirt, a white
Yeah, you
button-down
do.
short sleeve? Wow. Okay,
You have to
that's
wear well,
something
no,
else.
you have to wear a white dress shirt. But or you have to wear a white dress shirt. So if the weather is good,
Yeah.
then you can you're fine with just a regular one.
Right.
But they allow a short sleeve
Yeah.
because it's been so hot. I want to find out the other thing that we're allowed to wear is called a Guyabera.
Oh,
Guayabera.
what is that? Like a polo?
No, it's like think about like those white like kind of like Cuban shirts.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
know that you could
Sure.
it's a button down, but it's kind of got like some like stitching on it or something like that.
Okay.
So I noticed last night at the concert, quite a few guys had. I mean, I've been in the orchestra for 5 years, so I've seen it. But
Yeah.
since I was looking for this shirt, because normally what I do is just wear a button down and then like roll up the sleeves.
Right.
Anyways, I found one, and the only one that I could find was humongous and so billowy. Like, so I
You
kind
can
of like
pretend you're in
cinched
middle school again.
Oh yeah, so that was the whole point. Is I felt like I was in middle school again with those thin wrists and a billowy shirt
Thin wrist just
and
waggling
my
around.
bassoon.
Yeah.
Yep, totally.
Okay. Let's talk Cramps.
All right, sorry about
Okay,
that.
because I came in with. I think everybody knows what they are. If you have run, especially if you've run hard or if you've run any sort of distance or long time, you know what we're talking about. It's this kind of
Mhm.
side stitch, side cramp, or stomach cramp. You feel it around, kind of around your midsection or behind your ribs. Okay, I've got
Yeah.
4 tips. You ready? And it doesn't spell
Oh,
anything.
awesome. Yeah.
It spells woofubu. Woofubu.
Hey, that helps.
Okay. The first one is warm up.
Mm.
The second one is
Okay.
hydrate.
Okay.
The third one is breathe.
Mm-hmm.
And the fourth one is form. Shoot, dang it. That's 3 verbs and a noun. I'm ashamed of myself. And that
Redo
doesn't
it.
spell anything. Okay, redo it.
Redo, dude. Make them all verbs.
Let's do so warm up is something that I mean, True Gomer confession, before we started doing run, walk, run, I don't think I
Mhm.
warmed up at all for my runs.
You just go.
Just go.
Okay.
I don't have time to warm up.
Yeah. Now
I
that
have
we have
like
that
30
app,
minutes and I need to
Right.
run. And so I'm going to go out my door and run for 30 minutes and come back.
Yep.
But you're right. What you were just going to say, we have it set on our watch, and there's a 5 minute warm up part of the run,
Yeah.
walk, run.
Yeah,
And I've
love
been
it.
doing it,
Hmm.
which is great. And I didn't know until I was doing some research, according to my
Hmm.
research
Hmm.
this week, that actually one of the reasons you will cramp is because you haven't warmed up and you just go out there and your body is jarred into running and exercise and you'll cramp up
Okay.
and you'll
It's like
experience those
what are
side
you doing?
stitches. Right, exactly.
Like almost like did something is something chasing you, right? Like my
Yeah, sure.
Brett's wife Britt, she I was talking to her, right, and she was like, the only reason I will ever run is if a bear is chasing me.
Sure, right. And they have those apps, those that zombie app. Have you seen that where it's like
Oh.
it tells you in your ears like the zombies are close, they're like chasing you
Oh,
while you're
that's kind
running.
of funny.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
That
Um,
sounds funny.
but it's been good for me to realize what you're just saying, right? Like you just your body's like, wait, we were just sitting down. Now all of a sudden we're running. I need some sort of
Right.
right, some sort of like transition time in
Mm-hmm.
there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so that actually gets your body breathing differently, even your organs working differently,
Yep.
warming up, then just immediately run, and then
Right.
things will happen. And
Okay.
one of those is you get a side stitch or a cramp.
Yeah, because I always wonder that, like, in movies when, like, we were just watching National Treasure, right? And,
Ooh, tell me more.
oh,
That's
so
a
good.
July movie for me because of
Mm,
the how
yep.
patriotic I am in July.
So, yeah, yeah,
Wait. This is coming out in July though. So
yeah.
shoot, I just showed our hand. We're taping this way early. What other things would you say to pretend that you're in July? I really like fireworks.
Hot dogs,
See, we're in July. Everybody's fooled.
hamburgers,
Hot
steaks. I mean,
dogs
just meat, beer. I don't know.
and National Treasure. Okay, you're watching National Treasure because it's
Yeah,
July.
and just how much he runs.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
Like, he runs through that cemetery, right? He's
Oh, he's
running
running
through
everywhere. Yeah.
Philly. It's Philly.
Mm-hmm.
But like they are flat out sprinting for like a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how are they not getting that side stitch?
Yeah. Where's the cramp?
Where, like, and then we were just watching like Ozark the other day,
Uh huh.
and like, um,
Is Jason
what's the
Bateman
dude?
running around in that?
There we go. No,
I
he
haven't
was
seen
getting
it,
beat.
but
No,
he's
he was
getting.
getting like beat up, like punched and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Same thing. One punch, I'm out
Oh man, I would.
forever.
Yeah, I would remember that one punch for the rest of my life and suffer for it.
Totally. Broken jaw.
Yeah, I don't remember what I was watching, but it was we were watching Cliffhanger because we're on a Sylvester Stallone kick.
Oh
Um,
yeah, awesome.
and it's the same thing. Getting hit in the face with like crowbars,
Yeah. Yeah.
you would never recover. Your face would be smashed in for one thing, right? Like
For sure.
you would have to get like plastic surgery, but also
Yep.
you would I would think about that crowbar every day for the rest of my life.
Yeah. And you would be super mad
Yeah.
at that person.
Yeah. So you're right that
Yeah.
running is a great example in movies. It's just like you can't do that. Not right
Yeah.
away. You got to warm up. Walk
Yeah.
first, Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, where's the side stitch? You're carrying the Declaration of Independence in one hand and
Oh,
flat
that's
out
bad.
sprinting like in jeans and dress shoes, right?
Yep,
Like,
exactly. Being chased by who's chasing him in that?
is that Sean Bean?
Oh, that's Sean Bean. I was thinking it was Ed Harris, but that's the second one, right?
Right.
Is Ed Harris in the second? Yeah, he's in the second one,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
automatically makes it a better movie because Ed
Mhm.
Harris is in it.
Anything with that Harris, yeah.
Yep. Okay, so that's the first one. Make sure you warm up. The second one is hydration.
Okay. See, he didn't drink anything in that either.
He needs
National
to
Treasure.
drink something. He needs to walk a little while and then run away from Sean Bean.
Yeah.
So almost everything I was reading and everything I've experienced is that if you're not hydrating right, you're like your body being dehydrated causes all sorts of problems when you're running,
Sure.
especially when it's hot. But one of those is you'll cramp up in your gut or even in your side, right?
Yep.
And the the interesting thing that I was reading was like you don't want to overhydrate
Mm-hmm.
because that can also cause problems. So then I was like depressed because I was like, if you can't win.
I know. It's like too much water, not enough water. Now, the thing is, I think you can tell when you've had too much water because you're just going to the bathroom all the time.
Well, and we experienced that on the race, right? Like,
Yeah.
even though I had this in the back of my mind, dude, at the race was like, I know it's important to hydrate the night before,
Right.
hydrate earlier in the morning. And then I was so nervous or something. We might have talked about this on the live record, but I feel
Yeah.
like I just kept taking sips, kept taking sips, kept taking sips. And then you have
Mm-hmm.
the bathroom issue, but also I've also experienced like a full stomach of water,
Yep. Totally.
and
It's
that
slot.
comes
Yeah.
up a little bit and it's sloshing around, and that can cause cramps too.
For sure. Yeah. And then there's also like, um, you know, you have to have like the right amount of electrolytes
Yep.
and like too much water without, because
Mm-hmm.
remember they pass out the salt packets, so
Yeah.
you can be overly hydrated, and then you mess with the electrolyte salt
Right.
content in your body.
Is that sodium? Is that what salt is?
Sodium,
Yeah.
NaCl.
Right. Yeah.
I was
So
just looking up, is drain the main vein a thing? And it is.
of course it is.
It says vulgar slang of a male to urinate.
That's not one of my cramping tips, but I suppose it could be drain the main vein. Um, so that hydration thing, I here's what I was thinking about it is it's like it's a know thyself thing
Sure.
where because like you could underhydrate or you could overhydrate, both of those cause cramps. It just is you have to get out there and run
Right.
and figure out for you how much hydration. So it's different between me and Jessica. Like I drink a lot while we run. I've
Oh,
got a
okay.
fuel
Yeah.
belt, I'm drinking water, and if she drinks anything, she'll cramp up.
Okay.
It's so once we get past 6, she's having to drink because she wants to stay hydrated. But if we're going 3 to 6 miles, which we do most of the time, she's
Yep.
not drinking anything because she'll cramp up immediately. That's not the
Okay.
case for me. So you just have to like know your bod.
Dude, know thyself. I mean,
Yeah.
what did Saint Augustine say? To know God, you first must know thyself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Good
Yep.
job, Augustine, dude. Urinate or not to urinate or not to
That is the question.
to hydrate or not to hydrate.
As the immortal bard said. Okay, so hydration is important, but I think you need to know and figure out how that works for you. Don't go out without hydrating at all. I think
Right.
I can't. Maybe this
Totally.
was Laura or Annie where we were talking about just like, oh, it was Laura. She was saying make that water bottle your friend, but don't only make it your friend on the run. Like constantly be hydrating
So
and
good.
become a
Yep.
hydrated person,
Yeah, that's really good.
and that will
I
decrease the
like that.
cramps. Okay, this is the biggest one for me. Actually, is breathing.
Okay.
Um, that if I am, and this has to do with probably my core and if it's strong, and if I'm the last one, which is form, which I'll get to in just a second, but um, if I am breathing short and
Mm-hmm.
quick,
Yeah.
um, I cramp up.
Okay.
Uh, if I am like curled in my posture and that's affecting my breathing, that's the biggest cause of side cramps for me. I'm just not getting enough oxygen in.
Okay.
So I don't know if you remember this, but I have this memory that when we were first, like our first year, we talked a lot about this and about developing a breathing rhythm. And I I still do this. I go 4 in and 4 out.
Okay.
So
You mean
4
steps?
strides. Yeah, 4
Okay.
steps in and 4 steps out to make sure I'm breathing super deeply, and I do it all in my stomach. Like your
Cool.
dad used to say about like
Oh
proper
yeah.
breathing
Yep.
in your in instrument playing.
Yep.
So I don't breathe so that my chest lifts. I breathe so that
Yeah.
my stomach extends.
Yes. That's great, dude.
4
Yeah,
in and
the
4 out.
the
I don't think everybody can do that, but that takes practice and it takes some you you have to build endurance. Is that it? I don't know. Um, because at first you're going to be gasping.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, it's my dad used to say, you wouldn't want your picture taken from the side when you're breathing
Yeah, that's right. I
in,
remember
right?
that, dude. Yep.
Be,
He also used to
and
say, "Watch babies breathe." Remember that?
oh, I love that was one of my dad's best master classes. So
Yes.
good.
Yep.
Turns off all the light. He did it once a year.
Uh huh.
I love that master class. I would, if I had a time machine, I would transport back to that. That was cool.
Really good.
That was a good
Yep.
lesson.
And his point was
Um,
that when you see a baby breathe lying down, their chest isn't going up and down, their stomach
right,
is going in and out, and so you're filling this kind of lower part of yourself with air. And you're get for me, and sometimes I've overdone this where I get dizzy, so you don't want to do that. But
sure.
when I'm getting that cramp, I refocus on my breathing, 4 in, 4 out, stomach in, stomach out, um, and that helps me a ton.
That's awesome. Yeah, the baby thing
Mm-hmm.
was actually like when we were talking to Laura on that episode. Like I think we just naturally know how to breathe,
Yeah.
and we learn bad habits over time. Just like we were
Right.
talking about kids, a lot of kids actually, when you videotape them running, their form is really good
Right. Yeah.
because they just run,
Yeah.
and then we over time develop bad habits, develop bad posture.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So just go back to being a baby, dude.
Yeah.
For me, I just think about I think about my belt buckle. You're
Okay.
not wearing a belt buckle when you're running,
Right.
but I just think about that area when you breathe in. Think about that area expanding.
Yeah.
You
That's
know what I
good.
mean? Like think
Yep.
about all the way down there. I think about that when and like actually in brass playing, like I remember my friend Bob used to do all these exercises. You would breathe, your belt would go out, and then you can almost get like down even your lower back.
Oh yeah. Yep.
And then that expands, and then your chest starts to go up. You're just like a big huge
Right.
balloon. But
So
if you breathe
I do
up, or
yeah,
yeah,
I do think your chest
bad.
does go up, but that's not
Oh
where it
yeah.
starts, right?
Right,
Like
yeah, yeah.
you fill your body kind of from the bottom up.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, that's right.
And you certainly
Sure.
shouldn't be like lifting your shoulders like
Right.
that's not there's
Yeah.
no reason to do that. And also you're stressing muscles that shouldn't be stressed. Just let me
Yes.
read this thing that I read from Runner's World. Shallow breaths may also put more stress on the muscles and ligaments around the diaphragm, causing nearby muscles to work harder to compensate for this added stress from the lack of movement of the diaphragm. And that causes side stitches or side stitch or cramps. So um it's that's the diaphragm is like at the bottom, like below your lungs. Is that right? I can never remember where
Yeah,
that
yeah. It's
diaphragm
like
is.
way down here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's the muscle that expands and contracts to get air in and out. And so that thing's got to be free to move. And if you're like you're
Yeah, yeah.
stressing it, and then your whole body goes out, and then you get cramps and you get hurt.
Yeah, dude. That thing is cool.
Diaphragms are cool. Last one is form.
Yep.
So when I get a cramp, I start thinking about my breathing, and then I think about my form, which helps my breathing. So, and
Yeah.
I feel like I gave this tip when I talked about hills and other things, but I'm constantly reminding myself, stand tall.
Mm-hmm.
So it's posture. Um, I don't want to like bend over and curl in. Um, and so I'll put my shoulders back. Even sometimes I'll touch speaking of belt, I'll touch my belt with my, so that my elbows go back
Oh,
instead of out in
yep.
front of me. So I'm
Yeah, right, right.
touching my belt on
Is
my
that the
swing.
C3PO arms, right?
It does look like C3PO, right? That like bar that's I was looking at C3PO the other day, and he has that like extra bar right here,
Oh yeah.
like from
Yeah,
his
yeah, yeah.
hip to his elbow.
Oh. Oh, I didn't know that. I thought there was a bar like here, like at his
Oh,
at,
you're right. I think it's the shoulder. You're right. The
yeah,
shoulder's
yeah.
the
I think it's
inside of the
yeah,
elbow.
yeah.
Yeah. Um, man, what posture this guy has, Anthony Daniels.
Totally. Oh man.
He has to be
But
out
yeah,
there
so
in the Saharan desert with that
C3PO
gold
arms.
suit on.
Oh man. See, I need things explained in a way that I can understand them, just like Forrest Gump.
Mm-hmm.
C3PO arms, like
Uh-huh.
our kids when they're doing swimming lessons, right? They have ice cream scooper hands,
Yep. I
ice
like
cream
that.
scooper hands,
Yep.
and then splashy toes,
Mm-hmm.
right? Dude,
When
I
Jack was in basketball, it was you're reaching to the top of the fridge and getting a cookie out of the cookie jar
oh yeah,
for
ooh,
a
see,
for a good
totally,
jump shot. You jump and then you reach for the cookie.
ooh, pinch
Yep.
the penny,
Pinch the penny.
scoop
Listen,
the
we
ice
we
cream,
need. We'll take more. We love this kind of stuff.
send us more. Now he's gonna have like, dude, he's gonna make chicken nuggets. He's gonna make QPCs.
He's
Oh
gonna
my
get. He's
god.
gonna have that big pink sludge machine in the back. He's gonna be
You
just
have to,
slicing off nuggets
dude, I
in
want to
boot
know
shape.
everything about how they do it.
We got to have him guest
Yeah,
because I
that's
want to know modern McDonald's how these things work. It's a
totally.
OG reboot episode.
Mhm.
Yes, I almost got him to spit.
That was
Um,
really close, dude.
another speaking of analogies, I think I gave this one before. I pretend there's a helium balloon attached to the top of my head
Oh yeah,
and pulling me up slightly.
up,
Um,
just like up.
just like up. Exactly. Yeah. The up house
Yep,
is tethered to the top of my head.
yep.
Um, and then maybe you were getting to this, but there are form and breathing tricks that I do when I get a cramp mid run. I'm wondering if you have any of those. Like if you get a cramp
Yeah,
in mid run, do you have something that you do physically
yeah,
to
yeah,
address it?
yeah. Let me put my camera up. You can. I hate it when
Here
you
he
can see
goes.
fans. I hate it when you can see fans in
This guy
Zoom.
hates fans.
I hate that. I don't know why. It just looks dumb.
Hey man, I thought I was your biggest fan. Hmm. All right.
Nice.
Anyway, show me
Okay,
what you did.
so I'm out running, right?
There he's running. This
C3.
is and we're videotaping this by the way for
Yeah, dude.
13.1ers. Yeah.
So C3PO arms,
There he
right?
goes. Standing
As
tall.
efficient as possible. You got
Yep.
the balloon up here,
Mm-hmm.
and then so when I get that side stitch, here's what I
Yeah.
do.
Yep.
I'm afraid I'm gonna hit the fan.
Yeah.
Is like I stretch my arm, like basically shoulders like are going towards your ears, and then I'm like pulling them up, and then that expands this
Right.
whole area, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So you already know. But
No,
so
no,
me
that's
and Lily
great.
we're out running, and she's 10, right?
Yeah.
And she actually struggles with the side stitch.
Okay.
And
Yep.
so I was like, and dude, I remember, and I swear I learned this from Mr. O,
Okay.
our
Our
middle
middle
school
school
band
band.
teacher.
Yep.
Because dude, again, I think he was a runner on
Right.
some
You've
level.
mentioned this before. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised. I know
He
he's a
was a
horseback
skier.
rider, isn't he?
He's a horseback rider. He's a steel drum player.
Steel drum player. What's his band name? Otapoimi.
Otapo Imi. Um,
Long
and
gray hair.
then
This guy is a real character, Mr. O.
yeah, but
Okay.
I swear he told me this, dude. I could
Uh-huh.
be way wrong, but he was like, do that
Yeah.
and it goes away, like, and breathe,
Yep.
but stretch that whole area. And so, like, this is one of those times where, when you actually impress your kids
Mm-hmm.
and they
Yeah.
like are like, oh, you're
Mm-hmm.
like smart.
Yeah.
You
You
know what I
actually
mean?
know what you're talking about. Yeah. It's
Yeah,
a real
'cause I think
surprise to them.
kids in general are like, I don't know, maybe they don't think that. Sometimes I think they think I'm sort of, I don't know what they
Yeah. But it's
like
not,
just
I get it. It's nice to teach them something and impress them once in a while. Yeah.
right. And she was like, that worked. That was
Yeah.
awesome. You
Yep.
know? So yeah, so that would be my number one tip.
Yeah. So I will do that too.
Stretch
And I
open it.
will,
Yep.
I read this somewhere, or maybe Mr. O told me about it. I will
Yeah.
lean
Oh, okay.
to the
Sure.
side that the stitch is,
Okay.
and that
Even
seems
better.
to help. But I keep
Yep.
those, you're right. I keep those arms up. Usually it takes, what do you think? 30 seconds? Maybe sometimes I'll
Oh,
be running like this with my hands on my head
sure.
for like minutes trying to get rid of those stitches.
I would say for me it doesn't take very long at all, actually.
Okay.
But because yeah, I don't know. Because I mean that time that happened with Lily, it was pretty quick.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yep.
But yeah, that sounds great. Just like Wee.
Yep. I've heard too this thing where you're supposed to find the stitch and press it with
Ah.
your fist. Um, that just hurts too much, so I don't do it. But I've
Sure.
heard
Okay.
people swear by that.
Cool. You
That
really
you
shouldn't
press
swear
the
though, dude.
stitch. Oh, no, I shouldn't.
Let your yes be yes and your no be no.
But in this
Do
case,
not swear.
I don't swear by it. Other people do. And then, oh dang, there was one more that I was thinking about. Oh, my last tip is slow down.
Oh
Like
yeah, sure.
if you get a stitch or a cramp, it also might be your body saying that's too fast.
Sure.
Like at some point we can go that fast, but not today, Satan. You need you need to slow down.
Cut it out. Get behind me.
Get behind me,
Um,
Satan. You're a liar. And
yep.
so that I mean, it's a know thyself thing again. Like you
Yeah.
pay attention to it. There is sometimes a reason, often a reason why you're getting a cramp or a side stitch. You're pushing too hard. And so just slow down. It's okay to just slow down. And to find that pace or that speed where you're not getting cramps and side stitches all the time.
Sure. Once again, how did Nicolas Cage do it though without
How does
side
Tom
stitches?
Cruise do it every time he runs?
Dude,
Just
totally.
blasts out of there.
Yup. Did you see? Okay, yeah, that there was a great running scene in the
Oh
James Corden
yes.
thing. Remember
Yep.
when he runs away from Tom Cruise and Tom Cruise
Yeah.
chases him for like 5 seconds and he's like, "Where are you going?" Like that was so
Yeah.
funny.
Was there any running in Top Gun: Maverick?
Actually, I don't think so.
There's they
There's
run when they spoiler alert, they run when they crash and they have to like run through the mountains
Oh
of
yeah.
that unnamed country, but that's more of
Yep.
like a crouching run because they don't want to be discovered by the bad
hmm
guys. I don't think in Top Gun Maverick there's any like, you know what I mean, Tom
hmm
Cruise running.
Yeah, Tom Cruise just being a crazy athlete runner dude.
He's too busy riding that motorcycle with Jennifer Connelly, hubba hubba.
Uh-huh.
He doesn't have time to run.
Trying to be as cool as Tom Skerritt.
Someday I'll be
I
as cool as Tom Skerritt, he's thinking.
I I love that Chad texted us earlier today that he
Yeah,
totally agrees about Tom Skerritt. That was amazing.
Tom Skerritt and not sweet, Steel Magnolias.
Steel. Yeah.
A great
Yep.
performance. All right, dude, that's all I got. That's Cramps. If anybody has
Great.
any other tips, and I know they're out there, what helps you when you get a side stitch, a cramp around your core, a stomach cramp? We want to know. There's a lot of ways to contact us. The best way is just to go to our Instagram. That's at Two Gomers. In our bio is our link tree, and on that link tree is all of our links. You can find them all right there. You can call us on the Gomer phone. That number is
608-622-7669. That's 608 NBA Pony.
remember to rate us, review us, subscribe to the podcast that you're listening to right now on whatever podcast app you're listening to it on. Thank you to Davis for our music, Jason and Eric for our graphics, Adam for our website, and Annie, our social media guru. If you want more Gomers, go back to our 10th anniversary episodes. Those are in the fall of 2018. You can find them. And of course, subscribe to our second podcast, The Bonus Disc. Speaking of Top Gun Maverick, there's an almost 2-hour episode where we talk all things Top Gun and Top Gun Maverick. We've got Father of the Brides over there. We've got all sorts of extra eps. If you want Gomers every Friday, you got to subscribe to the bonus disc because this comes out every other week. Bonus disc every other week of that, plus extra episodes, depending on what level you donate at. That's patreon.com/2gomers.
Sweet, dude. Well, next block is Code Browns, right?
Yeah, so we're doing like a more general episode. Don't get
Yep.
too excited, folks. We're
Right.
gonna do Code Brown, but that's two episodes from now. First, we're gonna do finally, Anthony is going to talk about his big flux epiphany that we've been alluding to over the past several months, but has only been available basically to our 13.1ers who heard that phone call. But we're going to discuss what that means, how it's affected his and my running. And then the following episode after that, Code Brown.
Oh man. See, there's a story that I have not yet heard.
Yes. It's one of these where I'm like, we have to record this episode now. I know we've been thinking about this one for a block. Now is the time. Let's just say that. All right. All right, dude.
Awesome.
Well, listen, everybody, don't let cramps get you down. Get out there. There's a lot of ways to take care of them. Great app.
Super fun, man. And remember, everybody, if we can do this, if we can overcome, you can too.
And happy running.
All right. Let's stop
Sweet.
that. 1, 2, 3. Stop. Great.
Make sure it's saved.
Okay. Nice, dude.
Block 35. Cramps.
I'm going to print out my notes real quick because I was having printer issues earlier.
Okay.
Print out my notes for Flux.
Steven.
Folders. iCloud. Where is it? That is. Oh, no, that's not it. The firm book. Overcoming Runner's Block. Leg. Ah, here it is. Print. Oh, come on. Please work. Yes. You still there, dude?
Yep.
Okay. Printing. Okay. Printer is low on ink. Okay.
Okay, cool.
Oh, you're still
Mine is
recording,
perpetually. Dude. Oh, sorry. Bye, everybody. That is so boring.
Bye.
So I'm going to have to cut that. All right, bye, everybody.